Hello, hello, and welcome to the CoCo Blend Podcast. I am your host, Jamie Newton Knight, and today I have an amazing guest. I love my guest. Today I have Ashley Noelle with me. Welcome, Ashley.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. It's so nice to chat with you finally.
Yes, you as well. I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the people. Tell us, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Ashley Noelle. I've actually been a divorced, single parent, co-parenting, blended family twice, engaged now. I have a daughter, 13-year-old daughter, and my partner has two twin 13-year-old boys, so we have three 13-year-olds. Do with that what you will.
Wow.
Which is really beautiful. At the same time, they're going through stuff at the same time, and they're going through stuff at the same time. So it's, good and bad on both sides. And we've been blended for about 4 years now and going through all the things. I've co-parented for going on 12 years and blended family now for 4. So I've just been helping getting things out there. I created a product just to help families communicate more and blend, work with their co-parenting better, stronger as a single parent, questions to ask your kids, and blended families as well. So
That
that's a little bit of me.
sounds so good. Oh my goodness. I can't wait till you give us more information about your cards that you have for communication. But before that, what is it like being a parent and co-parent to three 13-year-olds?
3 13-year-olds.
Three 13-year everybody in the house now, they're just entering their teenage years. My goodness, what is that like?
Yeah. It is a full on, I'd say party, I guess, every day in the best way, because there's high emotions, there's low emotions, there's hormones, there's energies, and then they have their friends after school. So it's always a full house, but it's also been a really beautiful scenario too. They met when they were 9, I
Mhm.
believe. And I think they met at such a great time because they still had that like kid energy where you
Yes.
have that playfulness. They were able to start as kind of like those friends that hang out. And then now over time, they've grown into really great siblings for each other. This is the first year they're actually going to school together, which has been really cool. They talk about similar students or teachers and they just have more in common. So there's just more to create those bonds with them. But they've been some good kids and going through it. So
That's amazing. You hear so many stories about children and families when you're trying to blend and they can't even get along. So it's
yes.
so good to hear that your three 13-year-olds are getting along well and finding some
Yeah.
common ground. I love that.
Yeah. I think
Kudos to
it's
you
huge to
all.
it's really big to the parents too, on both sides of, establishing that respect for each other.
Yeah.
There's things we don't tolerate, negative talk about each other. The boys, they have probably the most competition, but they're also twins, so that's just naturally there, I think, whether they were in a blended family or not. But they've shown up really great all together, all three. They find their ways to connect. They're in that teen zone now where they all do their own things and they all do
Right.
different things, but they have fun stuff together.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So tell me, like, what was your biggest challenge in that co-parenting situation, whether it was with your ex or in the blended family that you're in right now? Like, was it communication? Was it setting boundaries? Was it like the healing portion of it? What was your greatest challenge?
Yeah, maybe I'll share an answer on both sides. Co-parenting with my ex was more the healing. I had to learn, how to just get tired of being like in it and feeling it. I always kind of tell people, I've coached a lot of co-parents and some blended families, and I always tell them you're gonna get exhausted at some point because you're wasting a lot of energy and feelings and stuff on something that is done, which is not bad to like, you got to go through it and you got to, grieve those things, but you have to kind of have that point when you just wake up and you're like, and here we are, how do we move forward? How is it for the kids? I need to probably, it's removing your personal feelings from the co-parenting is huge. And it's hard. It's not easy, and I know it's easier said than done, but once you get over that hump, look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I just had to separate the two. So I
Yeah.
think that's on my personal co-parenting, we've become really, I could say we're good friends. I think we're better as co-parents probably than as partners in our past. I also have a really great relationship with his wife. They have kids themselves, and all of those kids we treat like all of our kids together. They hang out, they go to similar schools or rival schools actually. So we try to it's a village. We just say we're really a team for all the kids. On the other side, co-parenting for my partner and his ex was actually more about like boundaries and kind of even empowering him as well to, make those boundaries. And sometimes not everything requires a response. Not everything requires your energy. I actually had a big conversation a couple years ago because he would get triggered by like a text or a call or something that would set him off, and then his energy would change for the day.
Yeah.
And I finally told him once, I was like, do you know that one text, you let that person, your ex, control your emotions for the rest of the day with your family and your kids? And it kind of was like light bulb moment. He's like, you're right. Yeah. Don't give her that much power.
Right.
So that was probably our biggest hurdle on that side.
I don't think that people recognize and understand that, like, you literally are. And I think sometimes you think it's like, well, I have to say something back, or, oh, it's not that I feel a certain way. It's just that I need to, you don't need to respond.
Yeah.
In my community, I say you don't need to attend every argument you're invited to.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I have attended, and I've shared this many times. I'll say that with my ex, he would come to argue, and I would lace up my gloves and be ready to
You
argue.
ready? Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah.
And after the argument is over, I literally felt like I was in a fight, like exhausted, extremely drained. And then I'm like, what did we get accomplished?
Yeah. Yes.
Nothing.
No, and I always say too, like sometimes no answer is an answer. Like it just not everything needs it. Obviously, logistical things, any
Right.
urgent or emergencies, of course, but if there's just talk to talk or anger, just heated emotion, you do not have to show up back. You can
At
leave
all.
it. Yeah, let it rest. Even sometimes I used to sometimes have to mute that text thread with my ex just because I didn't need seeing the name pop up, the emotional trigger. Like, no, I will respond,
Absolutely.
when I'm ready and emotionally available too. Like, I don't need to be in the heat. Because also I might say some things that are, not appropriate either. And I
Exactly.
don't
Because
do
listen, I definitely can get my lick back if you want me to, sir.
that. Yes.
But I'm
You
trying
want
to
me to
be
respond?
different.
I can. Yes. What
So
is it?
I agree.
Growth.
Step away from the phone. Do not engage. Like when I would be in it, when I was in the process of healing myself and he still wanted to go back, I was like, okay, Jamie, now you have to strategize a little bit differently because he still thinks you're the person you were when you
Yeah.
wanted to argue. Now you're
Yeah.
trying to change. So what can you do differently? And I would say, you know what? This conversation actually isn't going the way that we need it to go because we keep trying to go back and forth. And I don't think it's productive. So I'm going to hang up. And you and I can speak when cooler heads prevail. Maybe you can call me back in like 10 minutes when you calm down, or I'll call you back in 30 minutes, like whatever. But we can't have this conversation right now because it's not working out. And although
No.
he didn't like it, I would hang up, and it worked.
You
It's
made a
what worked.
boundary. Yeah, you made a boundary that like I'm not going to let this energy cross into my day or, the rest of with my family and my time. And I think it's important. It's like kind of I related a little bit to like coworkers or in a work environment. If you have something going on and you're heated about something at work, what do? Usually take a minute, you take a step, take a breather. You should do the same kind of with the co-parent.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yeah, it can be, it has its challenges. It has its challenges. So how do you all handle things like that in your co-parenting situation? Whether it's what you said with your ex, you have a better relationship and you all are more like a village. So you guys get to have that communication
Yeah.
and you talk more because you share the experience together as a village. But when
Yeah.
it comes to your partner's ex, how do you all break the wall of saying, okay, this either this is our boundary, or
Mhm.
this is a better way for us to communicate so that you actually hear, so that she actually hears him?
Yeah, I think it's more just about taking that beat, kind of checking our own emotions. I think it's really just knowing when to, are you giving information that helps or hurts, and just knowing when to call it and be like, okay, we've figured this out and we're done, and not continuing to play that fight and be in that fight and in that ring with her, which it's good. It's not a terrible, it's at a much better space now. I think it's become way more logistical and things like that. But obviously everyone can get a little triggered by their ex. So you just have to, what is it like? It's self-work that you have
Yes.
to kind of remind yourself, like, I want to be the bigger person about this.
This journey, that's another thing that I don't think that people recognize and understand, because you're so deep in it. You always look at the other person. You're thinking like it's the other person, but you don't realize how much it's about your own healing and your own journey. And like, I can't control this person.
Yes,
So I
that's,
have to figure out how to control myself and my emotions in dealing with this person, because they
Mhm.
may never change.
They might never change. I think that's the biggest thing too, is like my ex-husband is still the same ex-husband he's always been, but it's my how I want to change and
Hmm.
interact with him. I can affect that. I can't expect him, I can't be surprised anymore when something happens or doesn't happen, because this has always been, this has been his MO.
Right.
So I think it is really realizing that only it's that Venn diagram. What can you change and what can't you change?
Hmm.
Once you kind of get the hang of that, I think it gets a little smoother. It's just
Yes,
you
it
can,
does.
and at the end of the day, you're not together for a reason anymore. So
You're not together for a reason. But
yeah,
even I had a guest previously who was just like, even though you're not together, you don't have to be enemies, right? And
correct. Yeah.
and her situation was like, they couldn't co-parent. Like, it was very, very difficult. But it was like, I'm still not your enemy. Like, I still don't hate
Yes.
you. We have a beautiful child together. We
Yes.
used to get along very well. There was a time when we loved each other,
We
and
loved each
we
other.
can
Yeah.
still remember that space of like, I don't have to love you now, but I can remember that there was a time.
Yes. Yeah.
Just appreciate the time for what it was, you know?
Yeah. And I think I'm huge on, I believe that like children pick their routes here. So at the end of the day, you walked away from this with this like prized gift of these children, that you had, and a love that you shared. And that's the beautiful part. And the chapter ended and we start the new chapter. That maybe it's not all because you don't have to keep figuring out to how to, do I have to like you? Do I have to like you? No, but that chapter ended, but we had something great. Or, let's
Amen.
move on. And
Yes.
it's still your child's parent. So
Right?
even as much as maybe I or my partner, have our feelings with our exes, it's still my daughter's father. It's
Mm-hmm.
still the boy's mother. They're going to have their own relationships, as they should. And I shouldn't tarnish anything that they are going
Amen.
to, because they're not going to marry
Amen.
them. It's their parent. I had a different relationship. I married them.
Right. Amen.
Mhm.
Because I think sometimes people don't recognize that either. It's like, this is the child's parent. Do not go and talk negatively about that child's parent. And there, no, like, if you and your girlfriend want to go talk about them, then go
Mhm.
have coffee and talk about them,
Yes.
whatever. But do not do that in front of or around or the child, even if you think they're not listening. They're upstairs, they can't hear.
They are
Don't talk
sponges.
about that child's parent, because even though you think that what your words are, well, I'm talking about him, that's still their child, and for them, I'm a reflection of my parent. And so if
Yeah.
you're talking about my dad, is that what you also feel about me?
Yes. I can't like preach enough about do not talk bad about your child's parent, because it is so harmful It is
Very.
so hurtful. Even maybe if it's not to the parent itself, I feel like it changes maybe views of that gender. I think they can collectively be like, oh, are all men like this or are all women
Mm-hmm.
like this? I think it is so huge, no matter your, and I know it's probably the hardest muscle to exercise when you're in it and you're
Right.
angry and you're feeling it. Um, just to avoid that, go to a different room, take that energy out somewhere else, just be present with your kids, reflect, journal. I don't know what it is, write it down somewhere,
Yeah.
but do not let the kids feel that because it will actually even backfire. I think can hurt you more as speaking bad because it
Mm-hmm.
looks bad on you, especially as adults to look back and be like, oh man, like my mom talked real bad about my dad and they're
Mm-hmm.
adults. That's harmful, you know? So
Yeah.
I love that you say that because I wish I could scream it from the mountaintops because you
Seriously,
hear
get
it, you
your
see it.
feelings in order.
Yes. Be an
You're a
adult.
grown up.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, it's and with children, for me, this is how I've always felt like, yes, like I told you earlier, yes, this person did this thing to me,
You.
but they've never been that type of parent to them. So if
Yeah.
what you did was to me, then I, as the adult, as the grown up, need to be able to separate that this
Hmm.
is what he hurt me. He
Yes.
did not hurt. I mean, yes, our children got hurt as a result, but I
For sure.
mean, the intention wasn't like, I'm leaving you and I'm leaving him too. No,
Yeah.
you're
No.
leaving me. You
Yes.
can still
Yeah.
be a part of his life. So I think when parents can get their emotions in check and recognize that, like, the situation that happened between the adults was between the adults. It should
Mhm.
have no bearing on the child. Now, how they act with the kid is something very, very different. And you
Yeah.
don't have to speak negatively about a parent to a
Hmm.
child because that child is going
Yeah.
to see for themselves what that
Yes.
parent does. And later, my son is 25. He said, I never heard you talk bad about my dad.
Hmm.
But I started to see things on my own as I started to get older. Like all of the things that I had expectations of from him that he would tell me he would do, and then he wouldn't do it. And I was like,
Hmm.
just listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there have been plenty of times.
Right there.
And
Yeah.
so now as adults, he and I can have that conversation if he wants to have the conversation. But as a child, I would never say like, oh my God, this man never shows up when he's supposed to. He doesn't pay what he's supposed, like, I'm not doing that because it
Yes.
wasn't necessary. It's not for a child to know.
They don't know how to process that information. They don't even
Right.
know where to place it. They could generalize it. They could put it, it could output in a different way. They're just not meant. If we are just forming our like
Right.
emotions with it and healing, they're definitely not.
Exactly.
They're definitely not there. So it'll make a world of difference if you kind of just, be there for your kid and
Seriously.
separate those emotions.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So share with me about the cards and kind of like
Mhm.
how that has worked so first just share about it, but also like how you've seen it work, whether it's in your family or the
Yeah.
families that you serve. Like, do share.
Yeah, I have versions. So it's called Blended Bond. It started as like just kind of, I was keeping a notes app of questions that I was noticing this time in a blended family. The kids were older, they were able to comprehend feelings and emotions. And there was always just sometimes a little edge here or there, or I could tell there was an elephant in the room. So we would start having family meetings and I would keep track of just, I'm like, oh, I could ask this, or oh, I could ask that. And I just would tell them, hey, safe space. We're going to talk about how we've all come together. Obviously, it's a lot of change. Girl world and boy world, mixed
Mm-hmm.
families, twins, two brothers, all this stuff. There was a lot going on. And it was interesting because even I would ask some simple things, like I think, and I talk about it on my Instagram about the very first card which wasn't a card at the time, it was just a question. I said, what would make you feel more at home in this family? And it was funny because the kids had just simple things and we were able to fix it. Like my daughter said, I used to have this like a fabric acrobatic swing in a room. And she's like, I just really liked that like cozy thing in my corner of my room or whatever. And I was like, that's it?
That's it.
And
Boom,
then
done. We
you're
got
right.
that.
I
We
was
got
like, oh, I got you tonight.
right.
And the boys, it was, they missed their dad cooking tacos.
Nice.
Once, and I was like, we both were like, you guys missed that? That was a thing? And
Okay, no problem.
yeah, and it was just, and it started from things like that where we just realized, oh my gosh, they just have simple things that would make them feel more comfortable or make
Right.
the change better. And so my questions kept growing, and then I just decided, I had a friend that was like, you should make this into, a game or a product or a tool. And I have a graphic design background. So I was like, oh, I could design this. And then I was like, oh, I don't know how to make a product.
Right.
um, so then it grew and I learned a lot it took about 2 years. But yeah, the cards, there's 90 cards. So I have a physical version. I've now created a digital version since I had a lot of overseas customers. It's easier for them to just keep on their phone. I've also expanded into a single parent version, a
Oh,
mini
nice.
entry if you just want to start asking questions, but maybe overwhelmed with like a big deck. And then I'm currently working on an adult to adult, like before you blend, things to talk about or ask each other, or how to support your partner in the blended family. So I'm venturing into new areas, just all lived experience, all things that my partner and I go through, but it's been really beneficial. I can share it like so some of the cards are broken into sections. So there's growth, trust, communication, takeaway card, action, and fun card. So
Hmm.
activities you can do as a family to bond more, get closer together, more teamwork activities.
Yeah.
And then just the questions, it's really we leave ours at our dinner table. So we all eat, something that's really important for us is to have dinner together as many nights a week as we can. But that's our coming together moment. All the kids have different sports and activities. My daughter still goes 50-50 between me and her dad. The boys are with us full time. So there's a lot of things still happening that we can catch up on.
Hmm.
But we'll pull out a card or two. It's better than like how was school today? Good.
Yes.
How was your weekend? Fine. Uh,
Hmm.
so it's open-ended. And we've really learned a lot. It's really fun to see, sometimes it's a card where we're like, oh, like this one's a little heavier, but a lot of great things can come from them too. So I've appreciated getting feedback from families. A lot of families say the kids actually really get excited about it. It turns into like a tradition, which was fun to hear. So it's just been really nice to see that other families are just starting to communicate, and then you bond and then you connect more, or then you just understand each other or what each other
Right.
needs. So
It
that's
seems so simple, but it's so beautiful. Do you mind sharing like a fun card with us and then maybe
yeah.
like I don't know, a growth card or something?
Yeah, a fun card. I have like two great ones is like volunteer together. Can you do something outside of the family, but to do something for
For
somebody else?
someone.
A food bank, just a local shelter, things like that. Another one is a family talent show. So everyone's so
Oh, that's
different. They come from different backgrounds. Go take like an hour, put something together, and kind of show off for the family, and just have fun
nice.
and get to know each other's interests, and what they're into or what they're skilled in. So those are like fun ones. Let's see. Growth is always a good one. What are your favorite activities to do as a family? Just hearing individually, I think, because all kids in a blended family are coming from different backgrounds. You've been
Right.
raised differently, different things entertain you. So, what's something that you feel really good together? And then I love this one. What traditions from your previous family would you like to continue? Because I think it's really important to still honor their,
Hmm.
previous life, and maybe there was things that really meant something to them. Maybe Christmas was like they had a certain tradition that they just really loved and it made them feel like home. Is it something we could incorporate now
Right.
to still make that, keep those traditions alive? And I think I have a different card in another section. What's a new tradition we could start as this new family together? So,
That is beautiful. I love
yeah.
that, especially the last one. We, our family didn't have cards,
Mhm.
but because Christmas was a huge deal to me, my son's bonus mom, who we now get along very well, by the way.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
we talk a lot. Like that's my
Oh,
girl. Yeah.
my post today on Instagram is all about my love for my daughter's bonus mom. So
I love that.
I relate to that a lot. It's a special relationship.
It is. It really is. And it takes being grown to be able to do that.
Oh, yes.
Especially knowing where we came, like the situation we were in and how we've grown. But
Hmm.
she had like, oh, let's create a new tradition since you like having him on Christmas morning. We'll do Christmas Eve. Like they would do this scavenger hunt for the gifts. Like they would do a whole game so that he was a part of Christmas at their house too.
At their
And
house,
I
yeah.
love that. She always used to come up with really good stuff at her house. But I was going to say to you about these cards.
Mhm.
Those are really good cards in general, like for a family.
For my family, yes. I'm actually getting a lot of feedback of that too from like nuclear families that just have, I've had some friends that have bought it for blended families that they've known, but they do it with them and they're like, wait, I could use this in my family too.
Mhm.
Like it isn't, yes, there is this, focus on these co-parenting situations and blended families, because there's different things we have to overcome
Right.
with doing that together. But also, yeah, there's some stuff that we should just be asking our
Yes.
families in general.
Yes.
Hmm.
That's definitely what I picked up. I was like, oh, wait, we could do that here with my,
Yeah,
with our family.
yeah.
I love it.
I like what you talked about with the understanding the two homes and like extra traditions. Myself and my daughter's bonus mom, they have so 5 kids inclusive with my daughter over there, and then there's 3 with us. They're all in the same like 16 through 13, so they're all in the same age range. And it was funny because a couple of years, like life just gets busy and like all
Mhm.
these kids have so much stuff. And there was one year, everyone just had so many things and we missed some like birthdays and stuff. And we did a happy everything day. So we all got together at like a trampoline park. Me, my ex-husband, his wife, all the kids, all our kids. And we did a big cake and I just wrote everyone's name
I
on it. And it's
love.
just happy everything because there was so much this year. You guys are such great kids. Trampoline park on us parents. We'll hang out. And we also did a co-parenting cookout, which was kind of similar to it was all of us, our exes, our kids, their partners, all of that, and just had a cookout because I think there's something even more beautiful when your kids can get to the point of seeing you just content with the other parent around,
Hmm.
like just seeing their two parents. You might not be together, but it still
Right.
means something for them because they came from you.
Exactly.
know, in celebration of something or just there for them. And so we've done like this summer thing and then this winter thing, which
I
is it.
love that. That is the co-parenting cookout.
Yeah.
That's so cute. And that, but also like that, let's celebrate everything together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we had so much stuff going on because there is this pressure of like, oh no, okay, gotta attend this party.
Yeah.
And then so and so's party is going to be 2 weeks from then. So we also have, but doing it all together
Holidays and yes. It was
saves
really nice.
everybody time and everybody money.
There was such a relief of like, because I love celebrating people's birthdays.
Yeah, me too.
Friends, family, whatever, kids. I think it's a really special day for anybody. And so I was feeling that like mom guilt of like, oh my gosh, I missed like saying happy birthday or blah, 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 to like,
The
kind of these
kids.
extra bonus kids. Yeah. And it was so, once we were like, you want to do this? Let's do this. And we both were like, as moms, like, oh, that
Hmm.
was so genius.
It was very genius. And it takes the stress off of just one person of like trying to plan all the stuff because you all
Yes.
put it all together and you're like, all right, who's doing what? We got there's all these parts, but like we got this big cake. We don't have to buy 10 different cakes. One big
No.
cake. We're
Yes.
all here. How did the
And
kids feel about that?
they loved it. I was just gonna say, I think too, it's such a celebration for the kids and as a kind of this really big extended family. Like, oh my gosh, we have all this support. Oh my gosh, we have all these parents that show up for us. Or oh my gosh, I have
Hmm.
all these unique routes of siblings, even in a way. Like
Right.
these people and friends I can go to. And we're all here celebrating each other. So, and I know this isn't like, I know it's not for everybody. I know it doesn't work
Right.
for all families. I always try to disclose that. We've come a very long way.
I know.
But it can be, and I always tell people too, if you can just take a snippet of that hope or little things you could change or incorporate into your family. It doesn't have to be this. You don't have to have
Right.
like a celebrate everything party with people you were once with.
Right.
But if you can take one small thing away that will just help for your family, that's all I like look to have. So
I agree. I agree. You don't have to
yeah,
be friends because I think that's a big deal with people. It's like, I don't want to be their friend. I don't want to
you
be
don't,
my ex's friend, or I don't want to be his wife's friend. And you don't
yeah,
have to be.
you don't have to.
But
But
let's
it's
just
also
find a way to make
that's
it
fine. Yes.
for the kids, for the
Yep.
kids.
How can we just be, uh, was it copacetic?
Yes,
How can we
for
just
the
be adults
kids.
for
Can
the
we just
kids?
be adults?
Yes. Yeah. I want a shirt like that. Can we just be adults?
Can we just be adults? Yes. So, what's one tip that you would share with someone who's co-parenting? Like, it's like, these are all the things that I've learned as a co-parent, but this one thing I think would be really helpful. Because I'm sure you could go on and on. There's several things you learn in this journey.
But yeah.
But what's the one that, like, I guess was the most profound to you, or the one that made you feel like, okay, yeah.
I think it's really that separating of your relationship with the ex and your child's relationship. Because at the end of the day, that's what will fuel all those that hurt, all that. There's so many negative things that can come if that's not healthy. Doing your work,
Mhm.
processing your own work is huge. I'm a big component of like mental health and therapy. I think it's a beautiful tool for everybody. And I just think if you can do the work and you can separate those emotions, you can navigate this change. You can navigate this new chapter. You can, be a better parent. You can be a better partner. You can be, and that means for your next partner too, because if you
Right.
can't heal what's there with your co-parent, you're not going to have anything down the
Mm-mm.
road.
No.
Because it's gonna spill out in another way. So I think it's doing your work and separating emotions is the best thing you can do for yourself and your child.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with that. Thank you so much for that. This
Yeah,
was a great interview. I could go on and on and on with you. I told you before we got on here, I was like, me and you could talk
all day.
forever. We could talk forever. I
Yeah,
love having guests who I just really connect with, but thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna pray
yeah.
us out of here, and then I'm going to just close out. So before we do that, however, I want you to share with everybody, like, where on social media they can find you, how they can link up with you, and if you have anything going on right now, maybe that you could talk about your cards, if there's anything else you want them to know, like, about what's going on for you.
Yeah, you can find me and the cards on Instagram is at the Blended Bond. The website too is blendedbond.com, nice and easy. And like I said, I'm always expanding because it was so hard to only do one to start, but I needed just a general packet and a general deck. And now I can, go into more areas more in depth that I've been in and been through. So those will be coming. Like I have the single parent one that's out now. It's digital version, easy instant download. And then, like I said, I have an adult only one coming. I have one for if you're just starting to date after divorce, that will be coming too. So there's just a lot of layers that help to be a little more specific for all the different modern families that there are. So yeah, you can find me there.
That sounds like a lot of amazing things going on. I love it. And
Yeah,
those decks are going to be really helpful, especially it sounds like a helpful tool for those who are going to utilize it.
yeah,
And I think families can benefit in a huge way if they do so. Kudos to you on that. Not just
yeah.
starting one, but like you're like, you know what? I am now
I
expanding.
got
So
more.
to all of them, on all of them.
Yeah. And like I
Kudos to
said,
you.
my dream was to help if I can help one family because
Mhm.
this is not easy. It's not for everyone. Co-parenting isn't, being a single parent isn't, being a blended family isn't, but it's not all meant to be easy. And it's all, you get so much growth out of every chapter that you have. So I'm just eager to share it all and help people where I can.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, if you all did not catch it, don't worry because her information will be in the show notes. So no worries, no worries. But I'm going to pray us out of here. Again, thank you for being a guest today.
Of course. Thank you. This has been wonderful.
It has. I know we're going to be talking outside of here, so
Yes.
I'm not worried. All right. But I'm going to just have a little short prayer. So, Father God, thank you for this divine connection. I know that everyone that you connect me with is orchestrated by you and it's for a reason. I always learn something new from the people that I encounter. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for this, just being able to be in this position to be able to meet all these amazing people, to be able to connect with other moms who may be experiencing some of the things I'm experiencing or have experienced. They're so knowledgeable in the different areas that they're in and the things that they've gone through in life. And so it's just been so amazing to hear the feedback from the listeners. And so I know that this episode is going to be a blessing to so many. I just ask that you cover and bless Ashley and her family, and her business, because what she has to offer families is going to be so amazing and it's going to be so helpful. Like as I shared on the podcast, like this is something that can help other families as well. Just sitting and having this open communication. And that's one layer of this co-parenting journey. And so I just ask that you continue to bless her and her family along the way and all the things that they are experiencing, have experienced, and that the thing that she's offering to families, her deck, is a blessing to so many. I ask that you bless the listeners, everyone who is in earshot of this podcast episode. I ask that something that either of us said blesses them or touch them in some way, and help them to be able to move the needle just a little bit further. This journey can be a very difficult one. And I hope something that we said helped somebody today. I ask that you continue to cover us all, bless us all, and keep us. And I ask all of this in your son's mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Oh, thank you. That's incredible. I appreciate that a lot.
Thank you. So praying on my podcast was something that when it was presented by God, when I was given a podcast, because I was like, Lord, I do not want to do a podcast. I don't want to do, and I didn't want to do it right at that time. And it was because I am a little bit of a perfectionist. So I wanted like a proper scene. I was like, no, the aesthetics has to be right. And so I didn't want to do it, but it was like a very strong push of like, you need to do the podcast. And not only that, but you're going to pray on the podcast. And then I really was like, this podcast just ain't going to happen because I don't like praying where other people can hear me. My relationship with God has always been that where I can walk through my house and talk. And I'm like, that's how I pray. I don't know how to pray with people. And he was like, just do the thing.
Just do it. Yeah.
That's all I asked you to do is do the thing.
I love that.
So it has been a learning experience, but it's also been a blessing because I'm definitely getting more comfortable with it. I will say that.
Oh, you're fantastic. This is great.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for being a guest here today. Again, everyone who is watching, listening, whatever, go out and get the deck. It sounds like Ashley's going to send me one.
I'm going to send you one.
Because that is just, like I said, I can see using it in my family as well. And so it's going to be a blessing to so many.
Special code for your listeners too. So I'll send you that as well.
That'll be cool. We'll put that in the show notes, guys. So look out for the special code. Again, thank you all for being here. I hope this podcast episode was a blessing to you. God bless you. And see you next time.